Hi folks, welcome to my video looking at the Hafco Metal Master model AL-336D for Deluxe. I've got this second hand, and my main longitudinal drive wheel, just a little bit of binding all the time. I've noticed that because of these lead screw protectors, it actually can only travel this far or so before it starts binding up on the worm drive, and I think eventually that's bent this shaft and maybe damaged the gear on this unit for the longitudinal feeds. I'm starting to feel that a bit, so I'll make like a proximity switch here to turn it off when it gets close, and I can paint a line to remind myself. I may even take off this lead screw cover, I don't know yet, but I'm about to take the front of the apron off, this bit down here, and inspect this shaft, cog and the worm gear that drives it off this shaft here, and see what type of damage I've got. So first thing I need to do is take off the end carrier block, so I'll do that and get back to you. Okay, so I'm just about to take off this bearing block. I imagine this protector will be coiled under some tension, so I'm just going to take out these screws and pull this back first so the whole show doesn't go quick when I take out this last Allen screw. Okay, so we've got that protector tied back. It was actually under a lot of tension, a fair bit of tension, so yeah, good idea to tie that back first if your model's fitted with that. So now I should be able to take out my last screw and pull. One-handed, no dramas. Looks like someone's had this off before, because those look like dowel holes. That one and that one for positioning, and there's nothing in them. And I've got a little bit of damage to that screw carrier there, so maybe someone's had a play already with this one. But anyway, we'll soldier on. So now I'll go ahead and disconnect the rods from that end, and we'll pull the rods out so we can get clear access to the apron. Okay, so on our directional selection rod, we've got a split pin, and just looks like an ordinary brass pin on my feed rod drive. So I'll knock those out, and I'll take off the protector cover for the lead screw and see what's holding that one in. Okay, so you can see on the directional lever we have the spring steel pin, very strong. And in the feed screw drive we have, looks like a solid brass pin. I might actually drill that hollow so it's a lot weaker than what it is. That should be the first thing to get damaged, not the last. Alright, next. Okay, so I just tied that lead screw protector back so I can get to the connecting pin and drive that out. Okay, so I've disconnected this end, and underneath is another brass pin, and I decided I'd need to take this end out also, so when I remove the apron I can have this off separately. And we have another brass pin for the lead screw drive. So now I'll relax the tension on my lead screw protectors so that they can sit freely and not bounce everywhere when I undo everything and pull the rods out and disconnect them from the apron. And I'll move on to the apron once the rods are out. Oh, I might have to disconnect my directional lever first from the inside of the apron. Okay, so I've got one Allen key out, I'll take the next one out, and then apart from a bit of binding up at that end where the pin used to be, this whole rod should come out. So let's have a go at that. Okay, so I've removed the handle. That just slides along that shaft, so we can leave that on it. The rod itself wiggled out quite easily, and you can see here it's coming away on its little home there. If I can get a better grip. And that's it. I'll take that one away. Alrighty, so I've taken the lead screw out. I've actually got the concertina cover, the telescopic cover, leaning against my drop saw, but I've got a funny feeling if I let that go too far it'll just go boing everywhere. So I'm going to undo that here. So first I need to take off the dial indicator, just a simple single Allen key there, and then I'll take off that cover for this, concertina that together and hold it so it doesn't, hopefully. Oh, it's dropping already, it's inside. I'll put some timber under there. Okay, and I'll go along. And the second one, so that should separate, and apron off. Okay. So, we are left with our worm gear exposed, and this at first appearances seems quite intact. That's good. Doesn't seem to be any issues there. Not too much side play. Not sure whether this system uses some bushes or not, but everything's quite tight, so we'll go to the apron. Okay, so we got the apron open. Now, there's the binding, which made that wheel quite hard to turn at one point where I painted this yellow paint. So I removed this cog to see if that changed anything, but I still got that binding at that one index point, which led me to believe it was this shaft here. So I just removed this end bush, and of course it spins quite free now, but that doesn't conclusively mean it was this shaft. If this shaft is more flexible at the moment, it would compensate for another shaft being out, but just for the moment, to humour me, I'll assume that the binding was in this shaft for some reason. So I'm going to take this apart and check the shaft retrieved, but it also looks like this split pin may have sheared and is sliding around on this shaft right here. So I'll have a play here and see what happens. Okay, so my suspicions were right because I could see steel in the centre of the split pin. So this split pin is sheared and spun on this shaft, which might explain why I had a little delay when I engaged my feed before it actually moved, and it wasn't the greatest movement, so I think this has been the weak point, luckily enough. So I'll take this out. As you can see here, I've punched on this shaft and it's moving out. So I'll remove that shaft completely and have a look. And there you go. No prizes for guessing that. Alright, there's the remainder of the split pin sheared away in there. So I might replace that with a brass one. And even though this one's done its job and sheared, it's don't want it to happen again and something more serious happen next time. Okay, I'll push this out and then check the trueness of this shaft. Okay, so I'll just use some paper, taken off a little burr I could feel, and I'm just going to roll it over my piece of plate. It should be pretty true, and see how it feels. I've got a rock on one side and it's very stable on the other side. So I think the shaft is bent in this shape here. So I want to put some force with my press on this side and take it down like 0.02 of a millimetre. So I'll just hit the press and we'll see if we can't get a better result. Okay, so now it's rolling very true on the plate. Time to fit. Grab the snips, put a bit of air on this thread. Hopefully those nuts won't want to come off. Perfect. Now the big test, binding. Holy, look at that folks, no more binding. No spinning on the shaft without supposed to. Good stuff. Well, that is a fix. Now I've just got to put it back together. Okay viewers, I think while I'm back together and everything's working perfectly now, you can see my bodgy little shear pin, but it'll work. I'm going to show you how much shit is in the bottom of this. It's terrible. So I'm thinking I might drop all this out and give it a clean out and put new oil in it. You can see that shit coming out of there. I actually did that to the main gearbox earlier when I first bought it, and it was woeful what was in there, but I hadn't really played with the apron before, so I hadn't done it yet. So I think that might be next job. Get rid of all this sludge and put in, ooh-wee, and put in some, Jesus, put in some fresh oil. Yeah. Rightio, just one thing I forgot to mention earlier is on the bottom of the direction change bar there is a little, like a detent recesses at the back of this collar with your little ball and spring, and home for the spring in there for your positioning. So keep that in mind when you're putting it back together and taking it apart. Rightio folks, that time of the video to wrap up what we've done. I've got it all back together. You'll see I did choose to leave off the dial indicator because I only ever cut metric thread, and this is an imperial feed screw anyway. So I left off the covers as well because they're just annoying and cut out too much of my travel. And alright, I'll start her up now. Obviously it's going to be noisy, so I'll say goodbye now. See ya.